Hey guys, Big Nick here, and I'm back here today, and today's video is going to be my Elimination Chamber 2017 review. Okay, as you all know, the Elimination Chamber was yesterday, so just begin. Okay, so far we're going to start off with the pre-show, and that was Kurt Hawkins versus Mojo Rawley. Mojo got the win. It was a match, just to pass the time. Okay, now we're just going to go straight into the main card. The first match of the night was Becky Lynch versus Mickie James. It was a pretty solid match. Two of the best in-ring female workers out there today. Probably two of the top five if you also put Sasha, Bayley, and what's her name? Charlotte in there. Those are probably the top five workers in WWE. Yes, I know Alexa and stuff like that, and Natalya and Nikki, but those are my top five. Okay, so it was a pretty solid match. Becky Lynch got the pin, a roll-up victory during the match. Pretty much Mickie, keep doing that. Mickie pretty much been doing what Becky would do, and that's focus on the left arm. Mickie James went for her finisher. Becky was countering into the disarmer, and Mickie would get her into a roll-up, and then Becky would roll it back up into a roll-up victory. So yeah, Becky got the win there. Surprising, it wasn't a submission. Probably gonna have another match either tomorrow or another SmackDown down the line, because it's definitely not gonna be a WrestleMania match. Okay, next up, the next match is the handicap match between Apollo Crews and Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler. Just a match. Really wasn't anything really important. It was good. I'll give it that good. Dolph Ziggler would attack Kalisto before the match would begin, taking him out, throwing him into the the LED board, and actually knock some of the lights out. And then it was pretty much Apollo versus Ziggler for a while. Then Kalisto would come back to the ring. He would get the hot tag and pretty much do his flippy shit. So Apollo and Ziggler, which would eventually lead into Ziggler pushing Kalisto into his corner. Apollo tags Kalisto. Ziggler didn't know. Ziggler gets caught for the throw sit down powerbomb. So yeah, Kalisto and Apollo won. Surprisingly, there was no heel turn from Apollo. Because Kalisto, I don't see him turning heel. If you want him to be Rey Mysterio, which we all know WWE does, he has to be face. Kind of like what they did with Sin Cara when they first brought him in. They wanted him to be the next Rey Mysterio, so of course he was face. Okay, so next up is the first title match of the night, and it's the SmackDown Tag Team titles. It was the Tag Team Turmoil match. It was a fun, good match. The first hour of the Elimination the pay-per-view really wasn't all that great. It was like a solid Raw show. It was not until the second hour where things started to pick the hell up. So yeah, that started off with Breezango and Rhino and Slater. Rhino and Slater beat Breezango with the GORE! So next came out was the Vaudevillains. Slater and Rhino would eliminate them with Slater's Impaler DDT. Out of those two, the best out of the first two matches, the best one was probably Breezango versus Slater and Rhino. They lasted longer than the Vaudevillains. The Vaudevillains lasted like 2 minutes, I think. My, have they and the Ascension have fallen. We'll get to that later. So next would come out would be the Usos. The Usos would eliminate Rhino and Slater with a super kick to Slater. Then would come out American Alpha. Surprising. American Alpha and the Usos would have a good little back and forth match. The Alpha would eventually eliminate the Usos, which would then lead the Usos to assault American Alpha with super kicks, throwing Jordan into the post. Pretty much similar to what Ziggler did after his match with Apollo and Kalisto. When he lost, he would take out Kalisto, take the steel chair, and stomp on it with Apollo Crews' ankle wrapped in it twice. That's it. Pretty much on SmackDown, the heels lose, they're gonna beat your ass down afterwards. Get more to that in a minute. So next would come out would be the Ascension. American Alpha has been laid out from super kicks, the Superfly splashes. So pretty much, Ascension comes out, they hit the Fall of Man on Jordan, and Gable breaks it up. As they were this close to being tag team champions, they would last maybe a few minutes before American Alpha would get the win. That pretty much WWE showed that Ascension can't do nothing right. Even after they picked up the victory on SmackDown, surprised the hell out of everyone. But so yeah, American Alpha would retain. Okay, so the next match would be Nikki Bella versus Natalya. It was actually a good match. Better than I thought it would be. Back and forth. Ended in a double count out. Why? You could have just ended it yesterday instead of probably pushing it to tomorrow. When we all know Nikki's supposed to be teaming with John Cena, with her boy John Cena, to face Miz and his wife Maurice. Okay, so yeah, it was a good back and forth match. A lot of not really physical, actually. Some good wrestling in between Nikki and Natalya, and the double count out finish. Okay, fine. Okay, so we get to the next match, and that is best match of the night so far up to this point. That is Luke Harper versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton will get the win with the RKO out of nowhere. Great match, great back and forth. Harper showing why he should be considered a main top mid-card possible main event talent. He and Orton had some great back and forth, with Orton doing his little side suplex on the announce table. Harper getting payback, doing the same exact move to Orton on the announce table. Harper doing suicide dives, or tope suicidas. Doing helos that Eddie used to do. Big drop kicks, going to the top rope. Orton surprised me in this match. Orton did, because, you know, pretty much since he came back, he hasn't looked like he's been having his greatest matches ever. Probably the best match he had since coming back at Battleground was probably the Survivor Series match, where he was barely in it. And his best moment was when he RKO'd the hell out of Seth Rollins. Yeah, it's a very good match. Match of the night so far up to that point. Definitely right now, since there's only been 2 WWE pay-per-views, it's second. Match of the year wise, you got Cena, AJ, Royal Rumble, Harper, Orton. That's how good it was. It's definitely a match you would see on like WWE's best pay-per-views of 2017, hopefully, because you know they like to cut at least 1 or 2 matches out. Okay, so we're gonna go right to the next match. That's the second of the 3 title matches, and that is Alexa Bliss defending her women's title against Naomi, and we have a new women's champion. Congratulations to Naomi. She's been in the company since the first season of the female NXT. Yeah, she's been in the company for 7 years now. Well, that we know, top television-wise, she's probably been there a lot longer. This is her first women's title. She beat Alexa Bliss with the split leg moonsault, one of the moves that RVD does. It was a good little match they had. It only lasted a few minutes because Harper and Orton went a while, and of course the main event was coming up. So yeah, good job. Congratulations to Naomi on becoming a women's champion. She goes into her hometown at WrestleMania with the women's title, so it's going to be interesting to see who she's facing at Mania. Would it be a rematch with Alexa? Would it be another heel, maybe a Mickie James, possibly a call-up from NXT? Because really the only other heels on on SmackDown's women's roster is Natalya, Mickie, and Alexa. And we all know Tamina's supposed to be returning to SmackDown, so maybe she's the heel. Maybe she gets a title shot. Who knows? Maybe it's like, maybe they're going to do something like Raw's doing. Rumor that Raw's supposed to have a fatal 4-way for the women's title. Maybe we'll see Becky, Naomi, Alexa, and probably Mickie James. Never know. Maybe Tamina. Somewhere like that. Maybe it'll be 2 fatal 4-ways for both women's titles. Who knows? Yeah, so good little match. As I said, congratulations, Naomi. And next up is the main event, and that is the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title. Now, there was a new chamber, new design. I kind of like the new design. They kind of made it smaller. I like that they made it a little bit smaller. I like the new designs to the pods themselves. They weren't so big and round. They were kind of small, compact, more rectangular. The only problem I had with it was they put mats where the grating used to be. They pretty much PG'd the Elimination Chamber. The match was still great, but they PG'd the chamber itself. So pretty much more guys can take bumps, so they can do more spots on the outside and stuff. Probably still hurt like hell because the grating's probably under there, but probably still hurt. But it wasn't as hard hearing us smacking a piece of paper to smacking something hard like this. See? Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're going to start off with the eliminations. It started off with AJ and Cena, just great way to start it off. They had a good little back and forth before Ambrose came in, and Ambrose would then just start using the cell. AJ and Cena pretty much stayed in the ring for 5 minutes? He started using this chamber, throwing AJ into the chamber, throwing Cena into the chamber. He climbed up top of his pod, did his little elbow off the pod onto Cena. Fun little back and forth. Fun little thing going on there. AJ and Cena would climb up on the side of the chamber in front of the announcers table, where they almost both look like remember Ambrose and Rollins from 2014's Hell in a Cell, like that, but inside the chamber. Cena would fall off and fall on the mat, but he kind of oversold that because he landed on his hip. Because when they said Cena hasn't moved since Fallen, I believe Otunga said that, or Bradshaw. When you watch it, Cena falls on his hip on a mat. I understand it probably hurt that side, but it wasn't enough to keep him down that long. Because Cena was down a good 10 minutes almost? Good while. Next entry would be as Bray Wyatt. He would come in and just start running over everyone. Cena, Styles, Ambrose. Very fun. Styles and Ambrose would get on top of a pod. I think it was the Miz's pod. They'd start fighting on top of there because now they got the plexiglass. Is one side here's the pod. There's plexiglass up here. It's not just chain and stuff. The plexiglass up here. You got Ambrose throwing AJ's face in through it like he's trying to throw him through it. Come on, Ambrose. It's my boy AJ. He's the GOAT of the roster right now. Don't worry, AJ. I think so. Okay, I think. So yeah. Fun little back and forth. No one's still eliminated up to this point. Then the next entrant to come in would be Baron Corbin. He would do a good little running through everyone. Then the final entrant would be Miz coming out last. Corbin was kind of distracted, waiting for Miz to come out. Miz wouldn't come out because, as Daniel Bryan said, he kind of wrestles like a coward. Then Ambrose would get the roll-up pin on Corbin, eliminating Baron Corbin, which would piss off Baron Corbin. The heels don't lose on SmackDown. They can't take a loss. Because when they take a loss, they go on a berserk rampage and beat the crap out of the person who eliminated them. Ziggler did it to Apollo and Kalisto. The Usos did it to American Alpha. And Corbin did it to Ambrose. Throwing Ambrose through the pod. Throwing him into the chain. Hitting end the days in the middle of the ring. Pretty much leaving him fresh meat for Miz, who would come in, get the little cheap pin. Then Miz would do his little stuff when he's mocking Daniel Bryan. His own signature moves. Using Daniel Bryan's signature moves. And would eventually lead into him being FU'd by John Cena. He lasted a few minutes. He didn't do anything. As we all know, Miz does not take any bumps that are serious. So yeah, Cena eliminated him. So with the final three was Cena, Wyatt, and AJ. Then the three of them will have a strong going back and forth. More use of the chamber. More use of the little padding on the floor. Cena was going for the FU on Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt counters into Sister Abigail. And Cena is gone. Officially, we will have a new WWE champion. Down to AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt. They would have a good going back and forth. AJ Styles went for the phenomenal forearm, got caught into the Sister Abigail, and Bray Wyatt has finally done it. Congratulations go out to the Eater of Worlds. Now he has the whole world in his hands because he has the WWE title. After being on the main roster for 4 years, pretty much being buried his first full year in the company, then to go into floating around the card, never having that title shot, to never having a title since December. 3 months, in a 3-month span since December. Bray Wyatt has been tag team champion, didn't last long, but he is now WWE champion. And the main event of WrestleMania is set. The Viper, Randy Orton, taking on Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. It's gonna be great to see the build for this match, because as we all know, Wyatt and Orton are aligned. We're going to see how Luke Harper plays into it. Potentially, we're going to see if Eric Rowan plays into this. We could possibly have a triple threat at Mania. Never know, because the next pay-per-view is Raw's, and that's Fastlane. So SmackDown has a lot of time to build everything up, not focusing on the pay-per-view. So pretty much from now to April 2nd, we're going to see SmackDown build everything. We know how great SmackDown is at building its feuds and making you just care for it. So yeah, all in all, Elimination Chamber was a alright show. Not better than the Rumble. Compared to the last SmackDown pay-per-view, which was TLC. TLC was better, but it's still a very good show. The first hour was pretty much go watch the Grammys. And then the second hour was, okay, I'm back. Well, first hour was go watch The Walking Dead. Then moment 10 o'clock, then moment 9, 10 o'clock, hey, okay, let's get back into it. It's great. The more important matches are on. So yeah, solid show. Mojo beats Hawkins in a match. Becky Lynch beats Mickie James. Good for Becky. She needs to win. Apollo Crews and Kalisto win in a match. Ziggler showing why SmackDown's heel turns have been great. taking out Apollo Cruz's ankle. Fans chanting one more time because, you know, there's no such thing as a heel and face anymore in wrestling. It's just who the hell we like. The tag team turmoil match was fun. American Alpha retaining their titles. It's going to be interesting to see who they're going to go feuding into WrestleMania with now. The fact that they've officially beaten every team now on SmackDown. Hopefully that means the Revival will be on SmackDown this week. Hopefully. Or they just scrap a team up together because we know Zack Ryder's going to be gone for a while, so there's no Hype Bros. Luke Harper and Randy Orton, great match. Randy Orton winning that match in a great match. Harper showing just why he should be officially considered to be one of the top guys on SmackDown. Naomi, new women's champion, in a good solid match. Congratulations, Naomi, and congratulations, Bray Wyatt, on becoming women's and WWE champion. So, and the Elimination Chamber was a great match. Moment Ambrose came in, because all the spots they were doing, it just made the Chamber feel more important. Just made the match feel better. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome," with just 3 men in the ring. With just Ambrose, Styles, and Cena. And then everything they would just do after that just cemented it. This shows you, this pay-per-view showed how much better SmackDown is to Raw. SmackDown putting faith in their younger guys. And their younger guys and females. Putting faith into them to let them go out and just have a match. Not no fuckery finish like pretty much every Raw championship match damn near has. Let them go out and wrestle. Because as we all know, possibly at Fastlane, Goldberg is going to win the Universal title, and then we're never going to see the title again. See, I give props to Cena for pretty much becoming a placeholder champion. He was just holding that belt to give it to Bray Wyatt, pretty much. Probably in the up-and-coming weeks, Cena's going to get a rematch with Bray Wyatt on SmackDown either this week or next week, possibly. I say probably next week, because they're going to let Bray Wyatt have his little moment this week and then next week, because we know Alexa has to get her rematch for the women's title. Probably will take place this week. So yeah, as I said, Elimination Chamber, a pretty solid show. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later this week. Bye.